Hi everyone, it's Michelle from When I Grow Up, and I am here for Time Management May. Hooray and boo! And I say that because time management is my most favorite subject and my least favorite subject at the same time. Don't ask me how that's possible, but it's something I love and hate simultaneously. I think I love it because I love when I'm organized and when I feel like things are flowing really well and when everything's streamlined and pretty. And I hate it because I've yet to find a system that is like the perfect ideal system for me. And I have done everything. I've tried everything. I've tried getting things done. I've tried Filofaxes. I've tried Blackberries. I've tried to-do lists on the computer. I've tried Google documents and spreadsheets. I've tried Excel spreadsheets. I've tried different, CRM softwares, platforms that has to do components. I've tried everything. So basically what I wanted to share with you is what I'm doing currently and what has stuck for a while. And that's a good sign for me because I usually try out a new time management system for maybe a few weeks at a time and then I'll go off and find another way to do it. And this I've been doing pretty consistently. So that's a good sign. So take it with a grain of salt. I want the message to be that you have to sort of figure out what's going to work best for you. And if you're anything like me and you're a creative person, which you probably are, part of me really craves that organization piece. And I like that. That was the part of my admin work that I used to do that was okay. And I was really good about being organized and filing everything and, figuring out a system, although I so have a tendency to overcomplicate things. So I'm trying to do better on that. So right now, basically, the start of my time management system relies in my Google Calendar. And what's great is that all of my hard appointments are kept there. And by hard appointment, I mean when I'm scheduled to have sessions with clients, when I have my spring calls with my ladies, when I have my husband's show to attend or rehearsal for his show to be in, when I have, drinks with the girls, whatever is a definite or tentative date goes into my Google Calendar. And I know that's what has to get done. That's that day. That's what I'm accountable for, and that's what, people are relying me on. So that's where I start. So what I do at the beginning of every day or at the end of each day for the next day is I have my handy dandy trusty little moleskine skin pocket diary, and this is awesome. I got it for my birthday. Thanks, Mom. There are 12 little notebooks, one for each month of the year. This is specifically for 2010, so everything's labeled accordingly. And there are some annoying pages at the front that I don't like, but I try to ignore them. It's basically I don't know, schedules for the whole year and time zones and things that I don't use. Travel planning, whatever. So I skip all of those and I go right to the pages that are dated. So basically every date has one page, and then I don't know if you could see this or not, but it's not super important, and I'll put a link to it so you guys could see it online. But basically it starts at 8 a.m. and goes down to 8 p.m. and every line represents an hour, and then there's some room on the bottom and there's some room on the top, and it's scheduled like that. It's set up like that Monday through Saturday, and then Sunday has a whole page, but it's blank. There's no times or anything to it. So as you can maybe see, this is today, and I there are things that are crossed off, there are things that are written in, and what's great is that I know just inherently by looking at it what's going on that is flexible and movable and doesn't need to happen today, and things that aren't. So, for example, the first thing I put in is my class that I wanted to take today that I'm not taking, but that's okay. But I put that in. I put in my client session with my client today, and around it, I knew, okay, well, the rest of the day is sort of flexible, but I know I need to go through most of my scholarship applications because I have to pick a winner on Wednesday and I have a lot of work ahead of me. But I also know just doing that all day long would make me crazy. So I scattered that with, taping this video, with sending my emails, with pimping out the resume scholarship contest that I'm hosting for Alexandra Franzen on my blog. Go there, it's awesome. So I sort of, made sure, okay, 10 o'clock, I'm doing the pimping out of the scholarship. 11 o'clock, I'm dealing only with my scholarship entries and going over everything. 12 o'clock, I'm having lunch. I'm making phone calls. I'm calling my friends. At 1 o'clock, I'm going back, dealing with my scholarship. At 2 o'clock, I'm making the spring video. At 3 o'clock, I'm talking to my client. So I make sure to only put one thing in each hour unless it's really, I know it's something that's going to be really short, or it's like write an email to this person. I know it's going to take 10 minutes. I might put something else in that hour, but I'm really bad about filling up my calendar with too much stuff. And so I've really made sure that if I have one task an hour, I'm just not the kind of person that's going to be done in 15 minutes and then like scratch my butt for 45 minutes. It's not going to happen. So I know that there's always something else on the list that I could do. And even though it's scheduled and it looks very rigid the way it's scheduled, I also know that really I could do everything in whatever order I freaking want to, except for talking to my client at 3 o'clock. That's the only thing that I have to do at 3 o'clock. So it's nice because I really let myself I allow myself that freedom to sort of check in with myself and say, how am I going to go with the flow? How am I going to go with the current? What do I feel like doing? If I'm really blocked, I might take a look at like what admin work needs to be done. What could I do that is a bit more mindless, that's not going to take as much energy, because there are just days that I have like that. And then there are days that I'm really inspired. I want to be writing all day, and I'll go and do that. So it's really just taking a look of like what has to get done today, what do I have to power through no matter what, and then let's see where else my energies are and what I want to be working on. And I also make sure that I sort of know myself and know that mornings are really tough for me, but early afternoon, mid-afternoon, into some of the late afternoons, like my hot spot. That's when I'm really energized. That's when I'm usually the most inspired. That's when I want to get my writing done. And so I try to schedule that accordingly, which is great. And the other tips and tricks that I found, there's an application called Stretch Clock, which is fantastic. I'll put a link on here. And what's great is you're able to set a timer to go off every certain amount of minutes. And when it goes off, like a video pops up in your browser of like a guy in a suit on like a lake stretching, and they take you through stretches, and it's a different stretch every time. And it really helps me because I know I'm working in hour-long blocks or 45-minute blocks, because that's how I work best. I tend to get antsy after that period if I'm doing the same thing. It helps me just keep focused and figure what am I doing, and give myself that break, allow myself to stretch, be nice to myself. That's it too. And I have a friend who just told me that she has an alarm that goes off every 15 minutes. It just beeps on her computer, and that's her like mindfulness alarm. So she checks in at that point with herself and says, what am I doing? And is this what I need to be doing? Is this what I want to be doing? Am I, working on the client deadline that I have in 3 hours, or am I on Facebook for no reason? Or am I on Facebook because it's my lunch break? So I really like that idea, and I think the Stretch Clock has kind of become my mindful alarm. So I'll put a link to it here too. And that's what I'm doing. I know I'm talking fast, so I feel like it's such a big topic, but I don't want to talk your face off about it. So find what works for you. Figure out your hot spots and when you work best. Give yourself, cut yourself some slack, and just keep checking in. And really, the question that helps me is, what would allow me to work with the current, instead of feeling like I'm working upstream, or you feel like you're going against the current. I try to keep that at a minimum. The only time I force myself to do that is when something's due and I need to power through no matter what. So keep just checking in with yourself. Get that alarm, get that stretch clock, get whatever you need in order to say, am I doing what feels right? Am I doing what I'm inspired to be doing right now? And stay true to that. And if you have to do something, like today, I know I have about 5 hours of data entry sort of work that I have to do with my scholarship, and but I know that if I schedule those 5 hours in one block of time, I might shoot myself in the face. So I know that I'm interspersing balancing that with other things that need to get done, like this video, and it's going to allow me to have a more pleasant day and work with the current and with the flow of how I like to work and my energy. Even if I have to stay up until 10 o'clock at night doing that, then that's okay, because I know that that's going to be better for me in the long run than to power through it for a 6-hour block of time or something at a time. That just makes me want to kill myself. So don't kill yourself, and leave me all your comments and your tips and your suggestions. Love hearing it, and thanks for listening. Bye.